All right, hello everybody. This is for today's lesson for social studies. Like I said yesterday, we are starting a new unit. It is the Roaring Twenties and the Harlem Renaissance. It's a very fascinating time in the United States. A lot of changes were happening to the U.S. U.S. was prospering, which means they were making a lot of money. Our economy was really good. So it was a really great time in the United States to be a citizen during that time. It was amazing. This is actually one of the time periods that I would love to go back to and just see what life was like during that time. So I'm going to start the slideshow so you guys can get your notes done for today. That's on a Google Doc posted. It's your digital notes for today. So the Roaring Twenties, challenges to traditional values. So challenges, traditional values. So here we have some pictures. This is like they're dancing. If you guys did your web quest yesterday, you get to learn a little bit about the dancing, the jazz music. They were very, very much into that at the time. So women's roles. Women's roles were, well, they dressed like it was called a flapper style. So they had these skirts with the heels, these hats. They had very short haircuts at the time. And this was a flapper style. I'm actually dressed up like this for a 1920s party. I can show you guys. Brian and I both dressed up. Side note, kind of funny. All right, so a lot of things that they did were drinking, dancing, and socializing. So it was a very fun party time. All right, here they are. Actually, this is smoking. A lot of people, smoked at a very early age, so that was like a big thing back then. They didn't think anything of it. They didn't think it was going to be bad for them. All right, another thing was they received the right to vote with the 19th Amendment. So we learned that too yesterday, but that was something we learned in the past, all right, that I had taught you in a previous unit. That was like in the progressive era. So we should have already known that with Susan B. Anthony and all of that. The 19th Amendment gave the women's right to vote. All right, so immigration at the time rises to pre-war levels. So there's a lot of immigration going on in the 1920s. People from all over Europe and whatnot are coming over to the United States because we were a prospering, we were money-making country at the time, so everybody wanted to come here to live the American dream. Quotas were set for a number of immigrants allowed. So quotas means that there were a certain number of immigrants that could come over. So they had a limit as to how many immigrants were allowed. And then the KKK was big then as well, and they turned hatred toward all foreigners. They decided that they're going to discriminate against a lot of the foreign people from all different countries at the time. So immigration bill is signed by the president. Japanese ban becomes effective on July 1st. I think we did learn about that as well. That happened prior, where they are not allowing Japanese into the country. The Red Scare. This was a fear of communism, which is a type of government. We learned about that when we talked about Inside Out and Back Again, our book. And radicals. So radicals were extremists, people who went to the extreme with certain things, especially when it came to the government. And Seiko and Vanzetti were two immigrants that were accused of murder, and this is what caused the whole Red Scare, because they were thinking that people were coming over here and like going to murder people, were going to do bad things because they were immigrants coming from a different country. So that really put things into perspective, or like maybe we shouldn't have people come over from different countries, and we had to set a limit on that because these were guys that were extremists at the time. So this is like them protesting, all different people protesting about it, and liberty, and we want justice, blah, blah, blah. They wanted them to die, things like that. So prohibition was also something big. Prohibition was the 18th Amendment, which bans the sale of alcohol. So that's right. They banned alcohol in the United States of America, folks. You weren't allowed to drink it, consume it, have it in your possession. Organized crime was getting a lot of money, so like mobs and things like that, gangs were trying to smuggle it in, so they were making a lot of money off of smuggling in that alcohol that was considered illegal at the time. And if you learned yesterday with your web quest as well, speakeasies were also big. They were bars that were opened up where it was a secret bar, nobody knew about it. You had to be like the in person to know about it. Usually it was like through a side door, back door, underground, in a basement. People would open those up to try and, to drink alcohol and smuggle it in without the law enforcement knowing about it. So here they are pouring alcohol down into the sewers. So here's our bootleggers. Bootleggers are people who actually make the alcohol and sell it illegally. All right, so then also too is the Harlem Renaissance. I'm actually having you guys do a little bit of a project on this next week for the Harlem Renaissance. This is really fantastic time. The Harlem Renaissance was growth and boom of black culture in the 1920s. So they were also booming, and the culture of the African Americans at that time was really important. There was a big rise in the 1920s. It was centered in Harlem, New York City, and included new art, music, and literature. So again, this is also a great time for them as well. They were able to really show who they were, their culture, where they came from during this time. So some of the artists that were around was William H. Johnson, Palmer Hayden, and Archibald Motley Jr., and these are some of their art pieces. Literature, Langston Hughes, amazing. Novelist, jazz poet, and playwright. Zora Neale Hurston, again, another amazing author. She's author of The Eyes Are Watching God, great book if you ever want to read it. Claude McKay, and a poet and novelist. This is some of the pictures of them. Music, we have swing music, which is Cab Calloway, I believe that's him there. Count Basie. Jazz musicians were Duke Ellington, Dizzy Gillespie. Blues were Bessie Smith and May Rainey. So these are just important people from that time period. Okay. So then this is going to be a video you're going to watch. I have this little short documentary you're going to watch to get more information about the Roaring 20s. So I suggest you watch that when you do it yourself in the slideshow. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you fill out your digital notes on this because I will be grading it. I know I usually don't grade notes, but I just want to make sure you're actually doing it, so please turn it in. Tomorrow we'll have another, not tomorrow, yeah, I guess tomorrow, we'll have another lesson on this. We're continuing with it next week and then do a project and be done with this by the end of next week and do the Great Depression. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day.